How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I was going to talk about our trip to Las Vegas to the Expo. And the part I'm going to talk about is actually Frontier Airlines. We all know they're a budget airline, so they're kind of crappy. There is no other way to put it than that they're kind of crappy. No, they are crappy. Everyone knows that. They are probably one of the worst airlines. I don't know, I've heard Spirit's pretty bad, but I have never flown Spirit. But Frontier takes the cake, man. I'll probably toss up some little screen clips of the conversation back and forth. But pretty much what happened and why I was looking for a partial refund, not a full refund, a partial refund. You would think that would be pretty easy, but it's not. So our flight from Denver, Colorado to Las Vegas, that's where the issue lies. They had changed the plane from an A20, an Airbus A20, to an Airbus A21neo, which has a Pratt & Whitney engine, totally different engine. And that's right here, picture I took out of the window. We were on the Frederick the Eagle, a bald eagle, because they like to put animals on there. So it's easy for me to tell which plane I was on. And the seating chart. Nowhere on this seating chart is this an exit row for 13E and 13F. Our good buddy was over in 13A, who, booked on his own. And we had a guy going to the Roofing Expo, who knew there was such a thing, on the aisle seat, which would have been, 13D, and he paid like $67 for more legroom and the exit row. We paid an extra $20 a person for more legroom and the exit row. And, Frontier doesn't have anyone you can call, of course. We all know that. And, that's okay. In a way, that's okay. But, at least provide good customer service through chat or whatever. Who knows? It was probably a bot I was talking to when it comes down to it, because it was just signed as Echo. And then I noticed, well, they just helped me in a chat. But then they went on to their own Facebook page and they wrote to me and say, "Hey, give us your booking number and we'll help you." Echo. So bot had to be. It must have been a bot. Must have been a bot. But the problem was we didn't get the more legroom / exit row that we paid for because they had a plane change. Their system claims there was no plane change. I find that hard to believe. And like I said, I went around and around. They wouldn't go anywhere with it initially, just, there's no record of a plane. I'm like, here's a picture that I took. We were not in the exit row, and it went back and forth. And I thought it would be pretty easy. I even sent them the diagram of their own plane from one of those websites where it shows the seating for that plane, for that airline. And it shows 13E, 13F, as I showed you, is not an exit row. It doesn't start until 18 and 19 on that particular plane, an A321neo. So, they come, "Hey, we'll try to help you. Give us your booking number." Okay, give that. I give both of our names. Thanks for that. I'm just like, "Look, I'm looking for a partial refund. Upon checking, your seat assignments are 13E and 13F. We also don't see a change in plane." How did I get the fucking picture then? Hey, I took one on the tarmac looking out, and I took one in the air. Took a couple in the air, actually. Hello? And why would they give us this at the Frontier desk if we didn't have an issue? But when you go to the QR code here, there is no box for or selection for, change of plane, did not get a seat I paid for. Pretty easy. We only paid $20 each for the more legroom because we booked it somewhat of ahead of time versus the guy next to us who last minute booked, I think. So, there's that. There's always difference in pricing. At one point, this person, if it is a person online, was like, well, it would have cost a lot more than $20. That's why it might have been a person. But you would have thought they would have related that they've already chatted with me and would have in their normal Facebook postings would have been like, hey, we already took care of this with you. Thanks for understanding, and left it at that or something for other people to be like, oh, they took care of it. So I explain that 13E and 13F on the A321neo is nowhere near row 18, which is an exit row. And they're like, yes, we see that, Mark. However, you're the one who chose those seats, and we cannot grant your request about the partial refund. I did not choose the seats that weren't in the exit row. Mind blown. They're not understanding. And then I do point out I did file a complaint with the FAA, which you can do. I'll have a link in the description. I highly recommend you do that when you have issues like this, because to me this is fraud, and somebody should look into Frontier. Who knows, they'll probably go bankrupt once again. They always seem to go bankrupt. Frontier is not the best airline, and they're not the most stable airline. And then they come back with, no, Mark, we see that you pay $19 per way per passenger for the seat 13E and 13F. Yeah, no shit. We paid more on top of our ticket for those seats because they were the exit row. With hence more leg room. That's the idea why you get the exit row. It's not our intention to decline your request, but we have policy to be followed. Never told me what that policy was. I go into, this is fishy that you blah, blah, blah. I give our friend's name that he was in 13A. He also is not happy. The guy, we all wanted the exit row, hence we paid for it, we booked it, and hence why the airport, they gave us this, because they said we could ask for a refund here for our seat, which you can't. And if you can, let me know, because I didn't want to select every option to see where I needed to go. There was nothing directly to that QR code that was like, hey, go here for if you didn't get your seat that you paid for. Which would be the most easiest. And it would be the most easy to say, here's your $40 back, shut the F up and go away, right? Nah, they don't do that. We just go around and around and around. And then they even claim that $19 is not an extra legroom seat upgrade, Mark. That's a fee for a specific seat assignment, since you will be given a random one if you don't assign your seats pre-flight. That's not what it was, because our flight coming back was 13E, 13F, once again, but the flight was correct, A320 Airbus. It was an Airbus A320, and that was indeed an exit row, which was supposed to be our flight going to Vegas. Man. But they just go around and around. And instead of just being like, hey, look, we're so sorry. Here's your $40 back. Thanks for flying with us. Please fly again. Or initially just even offer a voucher, which is where we'll get to. This person says, yes, the 13th row is an exit row on the picture, which confuses me. On your return flight, may I know what row is the exit row? I say, the picture is not of an exit row on an A321neo. The return flight was an A320. This is when something must have clicked. If this is a real person, this is the only part that gets me thinking it's a real person, because it's responding with human-like intelligence to a degree without some common sense. This is when Echo says, so you're saying that the seat assignment picture on the system is different than the actual plane you boarded? That's what I've been saying the whole damn time, you stupid effing moron. What do you think? Yes, it's a different plane. That's what I said from the get-go. And I go again. I said, we were on Frederick the Eagle plane. Hence the picture of the eagle on the tip and the Pratt and Whitney engines. Since now they're like, wow, since that's the case, let me offer you a $50 voucher per passenger as a gesture of goodwill due to the inconvenience. Now, at this point, I had already spent 2 hours. I was doing work, but just leave it up. They respond. I'll come over, type, and respond back. Leave, come back. They were hoping I would just leave, right? No reason it should have taken this long. And I said, fine, sounds good. Give me a voucher. I was thinking usually when airplanes give you a voucher, at least it's for like a year or something. And my business partner, Aaron, he's actually taking a return flight on Frontier, unfortunately, from Florida, coming up from a cruise. So he's like, well, maybe I'll use the voucher for luggage. Okay, hey, if it works for you, that's great. I know we're not getting anywhere with them, so yeah, we'll just go with the vouchers. It takes them forever to generate some voucher numbers. And it says, so they don't even tell me how I use it or anything. They're just like, here's your voucher number. And I'm like, do we just put this in the app? Like, how do you use this voucher number? Your $50 one-time courtesy vouchers has been created with an expiration date of May 15th, 2024. So coming up. You do not have to travel within this time frame. You just have to make the bookings. And then when you go make your bookings, give the voucher number. I don't plan on travel with them. I know. So we basically lost $40 on upgrading to more legroom / exit row because Frontier has shitty customer service that this should have been able to be handled by this, because this is what they gave us, or at the counter. That in the old days, you would just go to the counter, say, look, this is the problem. I didn't get my seat. I reserved an exit row. I reserved first class, whatever it might be, but you gave me this lesser seat. And they would have said, we're so sorry, sir. Here you go. Here's your money back for the difference. Or here's some vouchers. They'll expire in a year if you don't book. Okay. That's how you handle that. That's a good gesture by an airline. Now, there's a reason why people don't fly Frontier. And I'm going to be one of those people that I'm never going to fly Frontier again. I don't care what people say. Oh, they're cheap. It's the Greyhound bus of the skies. Let's be truthful here. You look at the people around and it's like, oh my God. Half those people, and this is going to sound like a yuppie thing to say, should not be flying. Now people will be like, Mark, but people need to fly and get around. Not that long ago, if you couldn't afford a ticket to fly, you didn't fly. You didn't go on vacation. You didn't go visit your parents that way. You didn't go on a trip to whatever, visit friends. You didn't do that. You might have had to get in the car and drive. Maybe that was a better option for you. But nowadays, everyone thinks they have the right to fly. And I don't think you do. And I wish ticket prices would go up and bring back services. The whole carry-on thing is ridiculous. Next video that I do on Frontier, I'll need Aaron here because that involved a whole fiasco of things that went down in Vegas for our return flight. The flight itself was good, but the airport staff was horrendous. A guy named Juan there gave us bad intel, told us, we said we're looking for Frontier and pointing us to a different terminal, and we were at the right gate. They didn't have the name yet up on the gate for Denver to Vegas. When we talked to the guy, we talked to him, he pointed us, oh no, you have to go to Terminal A. I'll get into that with Aaron. It was very annoying. We almost missed our flight. I think he did it kind of intentionally. I don't know why. And there was no sorry or anything later on. And he gave us a timeout. And yeah, juicy story there. Juicy. We almost did not make that flight. That guy was a dick. We'll just put it that way. So anyways, Frontier, you can do a lot better. If you're going to have low fears, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But you're going to have to be better at something. Like either you're going to have the customer service so people say, oh, cheap fares, and they have good customer service, or cheap fares, so customer service sucks, but hey, the seats are pretty good, which we all know Frontier seats suck. Oh my God, your ass hurts. And that's only going to Vegas, a couple hour flight. Heaven forbid you go from Denver to Florida and you're like, oh, your butt is numb, you're ready to get off the plane. And now, they charge you for carry-on. And a carry-on, to put it in the overhead, is $69. A check bag, $70. Your personal item is supposed to be the small thing online. Their box is bigger, and under the seats get bigger still. So there's plenty of give there. But man, they're Nazis about it at some airports. Denver, not so much. Vegas, very much so. And we'll be getting in that story. But if you're going to be a cheap budget airline, I guess there's nothing wrong with that. But you're going to have to provide some sort of service where people say, wow, I'm flying this airline and they give me bags. Like Southwest. We all know what to expect from Southwest. You get priority, you pay extra for priority boarding, get on, especially if you're with people, you just pay for it. You get on, pick your seat, and you have your 2 bags. Personal item and your carry-on, whatever. Yeah, it works great, man. It works great. No issues. And really, the flights on Frontier are no cheaper. Because by the time you add in something on Frontier, it becomes the same price as everybody else anyways. So anyways, that's an issue I had with Frontier Airlines. And it is what it is. I'm just putting it out there. If you expect some sort of issue to be resolved, there's no one to call. The chat is a joke. They'll hand you this at the gate, or the stewardess or whoever will hand you one of these. It does absolutely nothing, no good. So I guess you can, just in case you need to, there it is. And seeking a refund does nothing. All false sense of something's going to be done. You're dealing with people that don't have anything upstairs and they won't help you. And they don't understand that planes were changed. Anyway, stay away from Frontier Airlines, and you all take care, stay well, stay safe, and have a good day, my friends. Bye.